Then another gift from Dr. Jenny in my Christmas
Raw.
stocking. I'd never heard of this. She found it. It's called It Rose Up. It's a selection of lost Irish fantasy stories. Stuff happens like a mystical battle between foreign gods and local saints is unleashed as idols are mistaken for garden ornaments. An ambiguous wizard spies on his neighbours from an invisible tower. A cursed duelling pistol influences its owners to commit suicide. With strange combinations of occultism, electricity and magic. These 16 stories illuminate a side of Irish history it's often overlooked. Looks great. It's from Tramp Press, who I think are like an indie publisher. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, obviously it's going to be fantasy in the sense of fantastical things happen, not Tolkienian fantasy and Hobbit bothering. But looks great.
It did actually rise up in my, if you like that, you'll like this thing on Kindle.
Oh, I see.
Right. That's how I found it. Was because we share our library. It's seen all your stuff.
Right. We are one symbiotic entity as far as the algorithm's concerned. The algorithm that thinks we're going to want to watch a documentary about David Beckham. You know,
because it knows us so well.
I know, yeah, they know everything.
The same as the Facebook algorithm that wanted me to like a page of hideous right-wing propaganda because I liked something with hideous left-wing propaganda.
Ah, yes, she likes the hideous propaganda.
Yeah, right, left, who cares? Just throw hideous propaganda at her.
It's like the leaflets being dropped from drones in that film we watched.
What film was that? I can't remember the leaflets being dropped. I can't remember what the film was. It was
called...
it wasn't a Hallmark, was it?
Away from People. No, it wasn't a Christmas movie.
Oh, it was the one with Julia Roberts in it.
Yeah. Good, that was pretty tangential. Here's a poetry book that I bought myself, so I sort of invented on the fly an exception for poetry books. I do feel guilty about this when I think I should have just stuck this on the wish list and waited. Not that I haven't enjoyed it and don't like it. It's called That Kind of Happy by Margaret Dietz. Came across her when we both did poems called November for Poetry Thursday. In November, just. And yeah, I think I sort of thought, well, poetry, we sort of both read it, but I think I was wrong there. Not wrong enough to say, that's it, I'm leaving BookTube and not do. Read What You Own is cancelled, I have failed. But that ain't right. That ain't right.
You should have made me buy it.
That's what I did. Yeah, well, let's say that's what happened.
Yeah, I bought it.
Another pre-order. Howard Andrew Jones, City of Marble and Blood is the second in his Chronicles of Hanuvar. Really enjoying the first one. I'm about halfway through it, but some other things took over around Christmas. The covers made me think, in all those thousands of paintings of stirring martial scenes that you see on sword and sorcery books and sort of military fantasy, these kind of headdresses with the well, it's a sort of brush, isn't it? It's like horses. It's like horsehair crest. Yes,
the word you grope
in that sort of Aztec. Well, they're not, that sort of look. You don't often see them. Why don't people paint more of these brush-headed helmets?
Because you could use them to brush the mud off your armour as well. They're dead useful. Brush the mud off your armour, brush your hair, adorn your helmet.
I think they're mainly for the adornation. I suppose they made people taller and more frightening.
And they were in the Roman army, I think they're different colours for different ranks.
Of
officers.
Well.
So you could see them in a battle.
Well, maybe it's explained in here how it works in Howard Jones's fantasy world. Then I got this. it's a comic, and yes, there's an exception for comics. I can buy comics. This is from June 1980. I particularly like the way that come on, focus, man, focus. Particularly like the way that Lois Lane is working at a computer. Pretty early adopter of computing, I think, for her journalism work there. So probably do something with that. Another present, lovely present from Dr. Jenny. It was
I am good wife.
Was on my wish list. It's the Prez collection. So Prez was. Sorry, I'm going to stop these so they don't collapse on me. What a way to go!
Are buried under pile of books.
Yes, read what you own, blamed. Read what you own, exceptions, blamed. Hubris.
Read what you want, I reckon, mate.
Prez. Prez. It's a short-lived comic from DC in 1973, where a teenager becomes the president, and it's very like flower power comes to life, and it creates this sort of groovy world where, you know, sort of problems are being solved in a sort of deliriously fun, hippie-ish kind of way. So it's always been, I never read them at the time. I knew them from the covers and the adverts. Always thought that's just such a weird thing. So this collects everything up until the mid-2000s, where he came back. Neil Gaiman used him in a Sandman story that took something that was very humorous and kind of hard to take completely seriously, and turned it into the way Neil Gaiman does, into a sort of piece of lovely sort of myth building and playing on the nostalgia aspect of it as well. And there's another graphic novel too called Smells Like Teen President by Ed Brubaker. Yeah, I've already read this. It's really good. It's I think it's a great example of something that's so, from all the lore of DC, how something that's so slight and outdated and was already sort of too corny and ridiculous for its own good at the time, how that then can be used to make other kind of stories out of. So love that. Then largest of all, another present from Jenny, is complete works of Shakespeare. So during Shake-tember, I got into picking up these RSC editions of Shakespeare plays that have beautiful typesetting and useful notes, and really, really good way to read the texts. And obviously this is all of them, plus sonnets and useful extra explanatory stuff as well. Already used in anger, as it were, when we were watching a adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing. So love that. That's the largest in volume, but the largest in area is the Atlas of Tolkien's Middle-earth. I wish I could remember whose channel I saw this on, because I'm very grateful to that booktuber for indicating that this exists. So basically it's detailed cartography for all sorts of aspects of Lord of the Rings and the associated works. So it'd be really good. So again, another present from Jenny. You should see what I got her, but you won't.
It's good though.
It's good.
Ooh. It's really good.
Yes, what am I saying? A reread of Tolkien will be greatly enhanced for me, who loves maps and geography, by this book that seems to have been amazingly researched. I love the artwork, and it's fun just to browse through anyway. So those are my recent bits of haulage with my read what you own excuses. Like I say, my breeze through it enjoyably I'm taking a year. I'll stop when I get to 100 or when it's a year, whichever's earliest, doesn't matter. All of that. But yeah, I don't think I should have bought the poetry book. Mild bits of collecting. These are sort of keeping me from going stir crazy. Okay. Jenny says,
I have just finished my own self-directed read what you own.
She has.
Because once I do a different New Year's resolution every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So year before last it was no new clothes. That's this year just gone, 23, it was read what you own. And I had some exceptions because you got to. And mine was poetry.
Oh, you see, not so ridiculous after all.
And 99p deals that were part of a series I was already reading, so I allowed myself them.
I did wonder about series one is already reading as being quite a potential loophole that could be good. I mean,
I'll put all the stuff that I bought like that. I put it in a special collection on my Kindle, so I'm not reading it till I can start on it now because it's 2024 now. I did 75 books, which is pretty good for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
People who read 100 books a week, I don't know how you do it.
I'm not reading that many. I've only read about 11 or 12 in 2 months since the beginning of Read What Thou Ownest.
Well, 75 I managed. There was some abandoned ones, which...
Abandoned!
What was that?
Abandon, like gay abandon.
Very nice, dear.
Anything goes.
Yes, I know what you're in. I'm just joshing you, dearest. So yeah, I feel quite proud of myself.
Yeah, well done.
25 books in a year.
Dr. Jenny, 75 on a sort of in the slipstream of the concept of Read What You Own. We must have picked up from.
I don't know where I got it from. I just decided. It was when I looked at a month's spending once.
Oh dear.
Towards the end of 22. And saw how many 99p's there were on my credit card and added them up, and it came to some ridiculous figure like 50 quid. I was just like...
Yes, you could have bought like a sort of Folio Society gorgeous book of your favourite book in the world.
I really love one of those. But yeah, and this year, starting from today, no new arts and crafts materials.
No materials.
Except for paper.
Sounds like a good one. I think the world of crafting has something similar to the world of books in that there's the buying the materials and the tools is its own hobby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is fine, but it also means that you end up with lots of stuff, I suppose.
Well, yeah, especially if, like me, you've never met a tube of paint you didn't like.
Okay, folks. Back soon with something else.